I think they're like Hawk HP Plus, like aggressive street pads are sick. And this car, by the way, doesn't misfire anymore. You won't believe what the fix was. So believe it or not, it was a battery all along. I was like, man, the main variable with this, I remember the voltage was all over the place when it was acting up at the drag strip too. So I thought maybe the battery just didn't have enough voltage in it since it didn't charge for the longest time before we switched to alternator. And sure enough, this morning, the battery had been charging all night, started right up without a jump box or anything. No misfiring issues. So I'm gonna continue to beat the crap out of it and hope that it stays good, but I think that maybe I have one coil pack that's a little bit weaker than the others, so it just wasn't firing if the battery wasn't like super charged. So that's why one cylinder would end up misfiring, because it would foul out the plug because it didn't have spark, and then it just needed time to clean up, I guess, and I don't know. Does that make sense? I feel like it does. Man, I miss this car. I really want to start working on making it look nicer. Like Matt the Ginge is making me a little bracket so I can move my shifter forward and finally put a shift boot on. Maybe I'll get a new handbrake boot. I want to polish up the cluster because it's looking kind of faded, but I love this car and I want to actually put more time into it again. All right, so let's see what's going on at the shop. Got some new tires getting mounted for the front of the Skyline. My old ones were bald. Alberto is currently prepping the subframe so you can weld in those reinforcement plates. Got some more goodies from the homies at Serial 9. Oh, who's rolling up? JZX? Bet one of their packages has never been opened with a subframe reinforcement plate. I love my Canadian friends. What's this? This is a banner, a t-shirt, and bushings. Sick. That's not a stuff. That's not a diff bushing. Is it a diff bushing? No, that's not a diff bushing. I don't know what this is. Let me look it up. Okay, so this is a diff bushing, but this is for the other side that we don't have yet. This is the one for the other side. So that's cool. So they're not welded in. These look like they just press in. I think the ones that I have on my GZX are, I think this is some sort of maybe Delrin. I need to look it up. But it's a very... You lighting stuff on fire?
Well, I knew that having brake fluid inside the subframe will make it blow off like this.
This guy. Yeah, my GZX in Japan, I had like a solid one actually welded in. This is really cool. It'll be way easier. All right, so I was right. It's Delrin. The bushings are Delrin. Look at these arms. How pretty are those arms? That's what we want on here. That's sick. Old, new. And what's rad is instead of being 100% solid, since it uses Delrin too, I'm assuming it'll be a little bit less harsh of a ride. So, kind of a cool alternative that I wish they had for other stuff too. Next up, we got a massive package from the homies over at Vibrant. This is gonna be kind of like the reveal of something very exciting that's going on with the JZX 100. So, we'll open up this box and you guys can see what's in store. So if you notice something very different with all these Vibrant boxes from anything we've done in the past, all this stuff is Thai. Well, except some of this stuff. So, on the JZX 100, for the first time on any of my cars, I thought it would be cool and very different to actually do a custom titanium exhaust on it. So Odyssey Fab, the guy that's making my manifold, is also going to do a custom exhaust and intercooler piping for this car. And we are going to do some rad, Vibrant titanium stuff. Vibrant stuff is literally the best of the best, so it's super easy for fabricators to work with. Literally less than half the weight of stainless, so that's pretty cool. And even though we don't really care much about trying to save a bunch of weight on the Chaser, I just thought it'd be kind of cool and different and a little bit extra for an extra car. And on top of that, I think it will sound probably a little bit different than we're used to hearing these cars sound, so that'll be exciting. This is obviously a 3-inch bend, and my cool idea that I got for it, this thing is so light, is to basically do 2 different axle back sections, one with a titanium muffler, and then I'll have another axle back section that'll just be a straight pipe. So I'll have one kind of set up for the car that sounds really good and is loud, and then if I go to a track that has decibel limit, which some of the tracks in the Northeast do have, I can pop on a sweet titanium muffler, and who knows, I might like the sound of it better. I don't really know how loud this car is going to end up being with the titanium, but it's cool that we're going to have some different options, and stoked to be using literally the best stuff in the game. Alberto's going ham with the subframe reinforcements. Right, now this is where it kind of gets interesting, and I'm going to kind of reveal my big plans for this car. This right here is the baby turbo that we are going to be using on the VVTi 1J that's in that car. This is the same turbo that I have on my SR20. This is a Garrett G25 550. So this super small T25 frame turbo. They literally make this turbo with a T25 flange, like internally gated, so you can like literally bolt this right up to a stock setup. This baby turbo is going on a 2.5 liter 1J. And you might be thinking, oh, this is too small. Everyone runs 3071s at least and bigger. So new turbo technology is so crazy that this thing literally flows up to 550 wheel. And my logic behind it is this thing should spool just as fast as the stock turbo on that car. And I love how quick the stock turbo setup spools on that car, and I'm not going for crazy power. So I kind of want to do the Trevor setup, and I don't think that I've talked about this in videos yet, so pardon me if I've already told you all this stuff. I don't think I have. I want to basically put this turbo on the car, right? Make a manifold for it, a downpipe for it, that will bolt right up to a stock JZX. So essentially make a turbo kit for the G25, and I'm gonna run that car with stock injectors, stock ECU. I think they'll max out somewhere around 375 wheel, probably somewhere around 12 to 14 PSI on this turbo. And just see how it is. So it'll be super simple, and then if I wanted to just copy that exact setup and replicate it for our cars over at Ebisu, we could do that. Have a little bit more power, but still super, super reliable, super low boost, super responsive, and then room for a lot more if you ever want to upgrade injectors and go over to ED5 or even make more power on pump gas with an aftermarket ECU or something. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go from about 300 wheel to probably almost 400 wheel with this baby right here and have the quickest spooling, simple chaser ever. And I'm excited because it's something that's kind of unique. I feel like people normally go with like huge big turbos, and 3071 is still a small turbo. That's what I have on my RB and it's sick. But like, I want it to feel like a stock turbo, and I'm excited to do something a little bit different with this car, especially since it's gonna kind of be like a street car slash drift car. I don't want any crazy power with it. I just want it to kind of just be fun and zippy, and I think that this should really, really do the trick. I love it on my SR, and I'm excited to see how it performs on a 1J, because I feel like it's gonna be sick. And if it's as sick as I think it's gonna be, I think there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna wanna do the same exact setup. So we'll see. Something to be excited for the JZX 100, and that's kind of like my plans. I'm trying to keep it simple, but knowing that I'll probably go crazy in the future, it'll be cool to have room to crank it up very easily. Tommy's turn to open a present. You have 30 seconds to unwrap that with your manly knife.
Okay.
In the meantime, while he's unwrapping it, everyone can admire those beautiful SSR SP3s. Look at that finish. I need a car that I can fit those on well. I just wish I could fit 18s in the front of my cars without rubbing. They're all stupid drift cars. Any ideas, Tommy?
No idea. Oh my god.
Dude, I stuck it. Are you done opening your gift yet?
No.
Come on.
Going there. I'm getting there.
God, you're ridiculous. Look at these. What are they? Oh my god.
Is it a new vape?
Oh yeah, dude.
Vape what?
Extendo vape. Look at that.
Dang. This thing's sick.
Yeah, so the homies over at Ultra Racing, the same people who set me up with all the rad stuff for my Evo, were hyped on Tommy's JZX90, and we're like, we want to send him some stuff.
Yeah.
So, you got a sweet strut brace and a sweet sway bar.
Oh, sway bar.
Yeah, dude.
That's what that is.
That's what that is.
I don't know what this was at
He's
first.
been asking me for the past 2 weeks, what's this package? What's this package? What's this package?
I've been staring at it. I've been wondering. But I was being honest, and I didn't open it, obviously.
It's funny because I've actually been waiting for a sway bar for my Mustang, and Tommy's like, oh, is that it? Is that it? I feel like on cars like the JZXs, you notice the bracing more than any other cars, especially the sway bars, because they're such big boats that it really, really helps to stiffen them up.
I mean, yeah, you need two. Look at this.
Dude, that's sick, dude. Some beefy stuff, and it's white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White everything.
Yeah.
Always.
Alright, Alberto, I heard you finished up the subframe. You want to give us a quick walk around of your new creation?
Alright, so I TIG welded most of it, but then the little parts were really annoying to TIG weld. It's gonna take forever. So as you can see, the color ones right here, like the big plates, are TIG welded. And you can really appreciate on this one. It's really cool.
Came out really nice. It'd be cool if we had some way to like actually test the stiffness of everything, you know?
And look at that MIG welding. Almost looks the same, but without the color.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Not gonna lie, I probably could have welded this a little bit better myself, but
You know, one of other Adam's hidden skills that you guys don't know about. He's actually a really good welder. Thought of myself, you know.
that was actually believable. Yeah, it came out super legit though.
Look at this, for example. Look, piece, and then look at the penetration on the other side.
Dang,
That's
dude.
what you want to see on welds.
So this thing is pretty much ready to go and get powder coated. The only thing we're waiting on, Serial 9 is actually machining me another piece, so I can basically get a whatever you want to
Same
call
thing,
this.
a sleeve
Yeah, the sleeve.
on the
They're
side.
they're making me a sleeve for us to weld in over here. So that way,
I went ahead and clean all this up.
Sweet.
And also I clean behind here, so when it gets powder coated, there's no like gunk and grease behind the plate.
uh-huh.
That's all ready for paint.
Oh, we also have to like scotch right the inside of this a little bit and then tape it so when it gets powder coated.
Oh yeah, that I forgot to do.
That's okay. We got time. But anyway, yeah, it's coming along and should be fun. Guess what? We're actually going for a quick skate park session. So, I stole one of TJ's monsters that was in the fridge, and I feel obligated because some nice guy by the name of Kenny, I can't read your last name, gave this to him for the boys, and TJ didn't even shout him out. So, here's your shout out, brother. I appreciate the monster you intended to give to TJ, and I'm sorry he let you down and I was the one that had to drink this. Maybe one day your monster will be good enough for TJ Hunt. I love this thing. Just a nice little cruise. Got some cool stuff done. Arthur has a misfiring problem again though, so I'm gonna drop it off at the warehouse and I'm gonna have to drive the other race car home. I just wanna make sure we can work on this tomorrow because I don't like driving around misfiring. I don't feel guilty driving this thing as long as it's before 11 p.m. It is a little loud. Nothing like a nice stroll on the town.